Sally, you're bringing 200 with.
Since the beginning of this century, telephone technology has been advancing rapidly. Many predict the next major change will be the complete elimination of telephone wires. By the year 2000, between 40 and 50 million people will be using mobile phones. The wireless or mobile phone will be an integral part of the emerging mobile office concept and will offer faxing, paging, and computer access. To meet consumer demand, a new technology is being developed, and with it, opportunity for individual investors to get in on the ground floor of a profitable new industry.
This is Investment Line, your direct line to decision-making information for your financial future. Now, here's your Investment Line host, John Darin.
On this edition of Investment Line, we'll be examining the new digital technology being used to create a third cellular system using specialized mobile radio, and how qualified individuals can get in on the digital race to profits in the mobile communications industry. Joining us on the program are experts in the communications field. Peter Ott is the technology editor of Mobile Office Magazine and editor-in-chief of Portable Computing Magazine. Peter is also the author of the Mobile Office Magazine Laptop Sourcebook, a comprehensive guide to purchasing and configuring portable systems. And Steve Priske is a communications company executive and industry analyst. Later in this program, we'll be giving you a toll-free number to call for free information on the new digital mobile radio service and the opportunities for individuals like yourself to profit from the industry's anticipated rapid growth. First, a look at the impending merger of telecommunications and computer technology and what's being called a global communications web or network. The principal elements of this mobile network computing concept will be the portable personal computer and the portable or the mobile phone. The explosion in mobile communications has created a need for a more advanced technology called digital mobile radio. Digital mobile radio, the third cellular system, will be more affordable than current cellular service and have added benefits like faxing and paging. With this new technology comes a limited opportunity for individuals like you. Imagine owning a part of a digital mobile phone system, making money every time someone uses their mobile phone. Get the whole story on this incredible opportunity. Call now for a free package of information on digital mobile radio and how $8,000 or more can make you part of one of the hottest growth industries of the 90s. Significant money is already pouring into mobile communications. AT&T recently invested $3.8 billion in the mobile phone industry, and other companies, including Motorola and FleetCall, have entered the digital race to profits. Call the toll-free number on your screen now to receive the free information package on digital mobile radio. Act now to get in on the financial rewards along with communications giants like Motorola, Panasonic, and others. Call the toll-free number now and get the whole story on your opportunity in digital mobile radio. We saw cellular technology grow into a billion-dollar industry in just a few short years. How do you see the growth of data communications and digital mobile radio?
Well, I think the potential is 10 times that growth, and I'll tell you why. Because I think that there's a real demand and a real need for more than just voice communications. We're talking about computer communications, data communications. We're also talking about fax communications, the ability to fax documents back and forth. And the digital network is a much stronger network than the cellular network. And I think that the trends all kind of herald this new movement toward a world where we're all technologically linked and blended. All these technologies are blended together.
Peter, later on in the program, we'll be looking at opportunities for individuals who would like to get in on the mobile communications industry through digital mobile radio. But what about the big players, the big boys here? Which major companies are already making investments in the industry?
Well, the companies that are investing right now are AT&T, IBM, Motorola, NCR, which is actually like a subsidiary of AT&T, is pursuing more the digital mobile data model. because I think that their vision, and correctly so, is one of the mobile worker of the future who can work from anywhere, and with digital as a stronger backbone for the wireless communications.
Well, finally here, Peter, from the consumer's perspective, how would you compare digital mobile radio to cellular?
Digital's better, it's cheaper, the quality of the signal is far better, and I just think that in the long run, its chance for growing in the future is 3 times that of a regular analog system such as cellular.
Thank you, Peter Ott, technology editor of Mobile Office Magazine and editor-in-chief of Portable Computing Magazine. Next on Investment Line, Stephen Priske, communications industry analyst who's been actively involved in the rapid growth of the mobile communications industry for the past several years. Steve, it would seem that the portable phone has become a part of our everyday lives, but in fact the industry is really in its infancy, isn't it?
That's very true, John. Actually, you know, every time you drive around on the freeway, it looks like everybody in the world has a mobile phone in their hand and talking while they're trying to drive. Reality is that there's only 3% of the country today using mobile telephones.
Now, for our viewers who would like to get actively involved in the mobile communications industry, should they be looking at, a license application, public company stock, or possibly a partnership of sorts?
Well, if we were talking 10, 15 years ago when the first opportunities to get into this industry appeared on the horizon, the best way was to actually buy an FCC license and eventually become part of a mobile radio system. Unfortunately, all of those licenses are out there in the possession of mobile radio operators today. The best opportunity for an investor is to actually become a part owner of one of these mobile radio systems, and of course then you become a part owner of those licenses.
Steve, we'll take a short break here, and when we return, let's discuss how individual investors might get involved in the digital mobile radio industry and what profit potential that investment might have. Our Investment Line special report on mobile communications continues in just a moment.
As technologies are, expect the Vice President to energetically push for the proposed supercomputer superhighways as a new digital infrastructure for the nation's telecommunications network.
The explosion in mobile communications has created a need for a more advanced technology called digital mobile radio. Digital mobile radio, the third cellular system, will be more affordable than current cellular service and have added benefits like faxing and paging. With this new technology comes a limited opportunity for individuals like you. Imagine owning a part of a digital mobile phone system, making money every time someone uses their mobile phone. Get the whole story on this incredible opportunity. Call now for a free package of information on digital mobile radio and how $8,000 or more can make you part of one of the hottest growth industries of the 90s. Significant money is already pouring into mobile communications. AT&T recently invested $3.8 billion in the mobile phone industry, and other companies, including Motorola and FleetCall, have entered the digital race to profits. Call the toll-free number on your screen now to receive the free information package on digital mobile radio. Act now to get in on the financial rewards along with communications giants like Motorola, Panasonic, and others. Call the toll-free number now and get the whole story on your opportunity in digital mobile radio. Who will profit in the digital race to develop the third cellular system, and how much money is to be made? Industry analyst Steve Priske is with us for some of those answers. Steve, if somebody chooses to get involved, what kind of financial dedication should they be prepared to make?
The opportunities are wide open right now for those individuals that like to get in on the ground floor opportunity of owning a specialized mobile radio station. An $8,000 to $10,000 minimum investment would put an individual in a fairly good position to see a healthy return on that investment within a 3 to 4 year period.
Steve, a couple of questions. What do I need to know about the industry, and what happens if I do choose to invest?
Well, most of your mobile radio systems that are in operation are simply looking for the money to convert their existing analog systems to this new digital technology. A $10,000 to $20,000 investment will give you 1 to 2% of a company, and over the next 3 to 4 years, as the dividends are being paid out based on the number of customers those companies have sign on, you could be looking at a fairly handsome return on your investment.
Then what I'm looking at here is investing in an existing business that has the ability to grow and prosper through the use of digital technology?
That's exactly right. Most of the licenses necessary for this industry have already been given out by the Federal Communications Commission, and most of your operators are operating fairly successful businesses.
If an SMR company chooses to go digital, what's the potential for the increase in subscribers and for revenue?
Actually, it's phenomenal. It's really hard to imagine how large a company can become by simply converting to digital. Most of your mobile telephone systems around the country right now are reaching their capacity, and they're only able to service 3 to 4, maybe 5% of the local population. Just imagine this: if you convert a system to digital technology, overnight you can accommodate 6 to 15 times more customers than you can currently accommodate. Simply by converting to digital, your system will now become 6 to 15 times bigger than it currently is. And that's to say nothing of the special features that a digital system would provide.
As you may have heard our previous guest, Peter Ott of Mobile Office Magazine, pointed out that digital mobile radio offers the ability to transmit data as well as voice communications. Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Very definitely. The cellular telephone industry is an excellent industry for voice communication. However, it does not really lend itself too well to data transmission. A digital network, however, can transmit data flawlessly. What I mean by that is right now, many people will communicate with their laptop computer or with their facsimile machine over a mobile network, and very often that information is lost. Now, a digital network will allow an individual to transmit tremendous amounts of data with no loss at all of that information. That's extremely important as our society becomes more and more mobile, and we have people literally doing business out of their car.
If you're just joining us, this is a special investment line report on the opportunity for individuals just like you to profit from the growing mobile communications industry through digital mobile radio, which is being called the third cellular system. Digital mobile radio is the specialized mobile radio service that for years has been used by construction industry, taxis, dispatch services, and the like. Now, with the advent of digital technology, mobile communications can now expand their services and offer a competitive alternative to current cellular companies. To find out more about how you can own a part of a digital mobile radio system, call the toll-free number on your screen and you'll receive a free information kit. Our guest is communications industry analyst Steve Priske. Steve, I just mentioned specialized mobile radio has been used primarily for fleet service in the past. With the advent of the digital technology, SMR companies will be able to serve individuals as well, like the cellular companies do, right?
Oh, very definitely. In fact, this is one of the nice things about being in this side of the mobile radio industry, is that we always have that segmented number of customers that have been our faithful customers all along. That is the dispatch services, as you're referring to. However, with the conversion to digital, and many of the manufacturers are manufacturing phones for the everyday consumer that look exactly like your cellular phone. So now we have a dual purpose for our mobile radio systems. We can utilize them for dispatch services and certainly utilize them for the private individual who wants to make a phone call while driving around in their car, talking to their child at school, or even while you're out recreationing on the beach or camping or whatever.
And will that call on a digital mobile radio be cheaper than a cellular call, perhaps?
Right now, the specialized mobile radio networks are about 40% cheaper per minute to speak on than a cellular industry. But keep this in mind, we're talking about increasing the number of customers 6, 7, 8, up to 15 times as many. Anytime that you do that in any industry, the cost per call is going to come down. The cost per item that you're purchasing is going to come down. So we expect to see the cost of calls dropping dramatically over the next 2 to 3 years.
Now, since this is obviously a growth industry and many investors watching us may want to get involved, how would this opportunity compare historically?
Well, the most logical comparison, of course, is the cellular telephone industry. Realize that individuals that invested in the cellular telephone industry 15 years ago with a $10,000, $20,000 investment over a relatively short period of time, 6, 7 years, those folks saw a 10 times return on their investment. Now, in this industry, I'm analyzing that most people will be looking at a 5 to 6 times return on their investment in a very short 2 to 3 years. That's a pretty substantial return on investment given the other opportunities out there.
Well, that's all very impressive, Steve, but what does Wall Street think of the potential of this industry?
Of course, Wall Street is always one of the better places to look to when you're trying to analyze an industry and to determine whether or not it's really an up-and-coming industry. And Wall Street has certainly borne that out when it comes to digital mobile radio. Motorola, the prime player in this industry and obviously one of the largest manufacturers of mobile telephones, is definitely the largest force in this industry. But aside from just the manufacturers, we've even seen people in the cellular telephone industry investing hundreds of millions of dollars into digital mobile radio industry.
Steve, we'll pause here to tell our viewers how to get information on the opportunity for individuals to profit from the growing digital mobile radio market. And when we come back, we'll talk more about the opportunity. I'm John Darin, and this is Investment Line, your direct line to decision-making financial information.
Wall Street investments related to SMR have exceeded